And right now, folks, we're going to jump over to our man Basil Chapman, as we do every Tuesday at 3:15 p.m. Eastern Time. You can check out Basil's outstanding program, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, Tiger Technicians Hour, and right on the front page of TFNN, folks, the opening call. Check out Basil's outstanding service. It comes with a number of amazing webinars Basil's done for his subscribers over the years, and you can subscribe. It's only $149 for a month, folks. You get a 30-day money-back guarantee, and yeah, check it out. Basil Chapman, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, and how are you?
I'm doing fantastic, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, thank you. Yes.
Now, Basil, I think.
In Boston. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. I think you got to refresh your chart if you don't mind. If you could do that while we're kicking it off, and then you can tell me how's the beautiful weather in Boston going, because I know you guys have had some heat waves up there, but how are we now?
It's really hot. It's gone. I would say pretty darn hot, and I'm scheduled to play tennis tomorrow. I'm hoping that I can do it. So let me just see if I've got this right. I thought I had everything set. Let me go.
You had posted it, Basil. For some reason, it wasn't coming through. I think if you just refresh it, we'll get it going.
There it is. Okay. I think, yeah, we got it. You got it?
I got it. We're good to go. All right. We got the Dow. What are we doing with the Dow, Basil?
So let me just explain. On the left here is the daily chart. In the middle is the weekly chart. On the right side is the monthly chart. So I've been saying, I think I even said last week, that I anticipate that we're starting to bump into resistance levels. And so far, the technicals are all very strong. So you can get in front of it, but I don't like to do that. I like to see a cohesion between looking at my Chapman wave notations, the technicals, and even the, let me just pop this chart up for a moment here, and even the dark news index. And at this point, I'm just starting with the yields starting to move up again. And just the whole thing with tariffs, just in the very short term, I haven't done anything yet, but every time I put in a rectangle, it's usually a case that I'm looking at some kind of maybe an internal high that could go to a residual high. So it's just a kind of a warning sign. I've done nothing yet. But so I'm kind of cautious, and I'll explain why. The Dow made a top of 45,073 back at the end of 2022. Then early January, it retested it by going to 45,054, 30 points away. Then it tumbles down, remember, to the 36,000 level. And all of a sudden, what does it do? It rallies up. And this one has been a very steady move with peaks, and I label each peak alphabetically, sequentially as they move up, A, B, C, D, E, F, and I make them uppercase on the way up, lowercase on the way down, and at D, that's when other things can happen. Well, it looks to me like at 44,885, 3 sessions ago, that there's a chance that on a very short-term basis, we're bumping into resistance, and we could get some kind of a pullback. I haven't got any sign yet other than this potential double top. Now, what's very interesting, if you go through all the others, you know, I mentioned this peak D or a little higher, the E or F, you've got to be somewhat careful. So here we go. Here's the S&P. Right there, here's the S&P. And that is, I said here, but I forgot to click on the chart. Here it comes. Okay, S&P. Peak D. So we've got to be a little careful in the daily, but the weekly chart is only in leg C at an all-time high 3 sessions ago. That is really bullish. And the monthly chart broke out. I hate to say it, but I think it could be an A and not a G. G says, oh, be careful. A says, are you kidding? Every single pullback you got to buy. So I'm leaving that for the moment to say we've got to reassess at the end of the month. But mostly what I'm looking at, if you go to the QQQ, that has gone to a peak E. And we haven't pulled back very much. 2 sessions, just a little bit off the all-time highs. But look at the weekly chart, leg B. If there's no new high this week, it'll be a peak B. But this is incredible. All the technicals, the MACD, the stochastic, the unbalanced volume, everything's in line. The 9-period moving average is very strong. And now what is really a big positive for 2025 is that the IWM has finally started to become an independent. And what I mean by that is that the 200-period moving average, if I can just move this across, there it is, that the 200-period moving average, this yellow line, has been such strong resistance, all of a sudden now, for the first time in quite a while, months and months, it's become support. So I like that. And the weekly chart has improved quite a bit. So looking at, and I must go through the SMHs because the SMIs usually lead us up and lead us down. They're holding very well just off the all-time high. But I've got to watch this closely because The support is at 269, and we're at 283. So there's a little bit of way to go if it was to pull back, but that's going to be key support if there is a pullback. So now the other thing that we're looking at is I like to use some particular stocks as a kind of a little barometer. So Robinhood, I've spoken about for a long time, kind of a real market participant, not a Dow, not a NASDAQ, it's just by itself as a broker. It's done extremely well, all-time high at 100.88 on the 2nd of July, just kind of stalling here. I should mention that we are still long from the, have a position from the 16th, and and it's at 91 right now. And General Electric's started to stall after potential double top, 257.47 on the 6th of June, and 260.55 at the end of June. And it's just stalling here. So the stalling says to me that the upside, unless there's a trigger for another big spike to the upside, I don't know whether it's tariffs, whatever it is, I'm just thinking that the market deserves a breather, and that's kind of what it's getting. I don't have any signal to say short everything. I'm saying there are certain parameters that they hit. I would like to start short position in the market. I haven't done that yet. I should also mention that we are long General Electric from 198, so it's at 247 right now. And I haven't really wanted to do very much other than take a little bit off, because this has been a leader for the cyclical. So there are certain aspects that are really important. Now, I thought I'd show you this. The IAI, which is the broker-dealer ETF, went to an all-time high yesterday of 172.05. And look, there's a big red candle. But when you look at the chart, this is like an eye blink. It doesn't. It's like it's nothing. So if the IAI at 189 actually starts to trade under 165, sorry, 169 right now. If it starts to trade under 164, that's going to say, okay, now you've got your at least a catalyst for some kind of move to the downside. Now, I thought I'd show you something I consider quite important, and that's this 9-period moving average over the 14. Look, here's the Dow daily, and look how every pullback, the green line, which is the 9-period exponential moving average, has held above the 14, even when it had that strong dip in June. It held, and then it gives us, it's like a spring to the upside if it doesn't turn pink. And look what happens. So it's pulling back, but the price of the Dow is above the green 9-period moving average. The 9 is above the 14. And if you look at, I'm going to go to just part of our portfolio, Robinhood. Look, fabulous action, pull back, but the price is still over the green. The green's over the 14-period exponential moving. That's usually very positive. General Electric, which I was just talking about, did go underneath, but it hasn't turned pink yet. So that's a good sign. So when I'm looking at this way, I'll even show you gold, which we have a position in the physical gold, but the gold itself, look, that has been pink, and it's having trouble. It's struggling to get over the black line, the 9-period moving average, to turn green. So as I'm looking at it right, and then IBX, I didn't talk about that. Sorry, this is right here. If I've got a moment, I'll give it to you. BAII. We got in what am I doing here? Anyway, we've got this
Basil, that's okay. We got to run, but that was a tremendous 9 minutes. Thank you so much, man. That was so much great information. Hey, those weeklies are something else, man. Thank you, Basil. We look forward to the show tomorrow.
Thank you.
Have a great one.